He was offered $70 million, 6 years to go coach the Los Angeles Lakers, and he turned that down. He will likely get an even bigger deal from his current employer than what he last signed on to, which was after the 2022-2023 season when he signed a 6-year, $32 million contract. He will arguably become the highest paid coach in college basketball. That cost of living adjustment makes Storrs, Connecticut look real sexy compared to U.S. glamour city, Los Angeles, California. But more than anything, there's obviously a level of not comfort for Dan Hurley, but community. His wife is from New Jersey. We talked with Gary about it yesterday, and I thought GP had many, many good points.
That was the best point to me.
Yes.
You could kick it in UConn, run this thing back, and eventually, should you want to make that jump, you've got all of those northeastern cities there, so you're not moving clear across country. I thought that was the best point in all of this.
And that's been brought up. Like, he's 51 years old. This is certainly not the end of his opportunities to jump into the NBA eventually. And there is something special about trying and going to run it back. And like we mentioned when his name first got attached to this Lakers job. And for all the people who try to tell me that like sports and theater are large distances away, this Dan Hurley story really just shows the theater of it all in sports, because we weren't even thinking about Dan Hurley as a potential coaching option for the Los Angeles Lakers. We were fully embedded in the news that it was probably going to go to JJ Redick, according to Shams Charania. Then we did a big V over into the Dan Hurley territory at all after the Woj bomb to tip off the morning of the first game of the NBA Finals. And suddenly it was, this has been the guy all along. It's always been you. It's always been Dan Hurley. And we got into, the ebbs and flows of conversations of someone maybe taking a job, and he went and visited Los Angeles and was really impressed with everything, and his meeting with Rob Pelinka and everything from that goes back to Storrs and says he's going to make his decision on a Monday. And then as Monday came yesterday, there was a practice scheduled originally for one time. They bumped the practice back a couple of hours. The reports start trickling out that like Dan Hurley has made a decision, but only he knows what that decision is. And then it finally comes out that he's staying at UConn. And the worst person you know on LinkedIn is going to use this as an example of being able to use leverage in contract negotiations with your current employer and being able to dangle another big bad job and show your current employer like, hey, this is why you should pay me more. But really, I think it's just an example of somebody who is in their own personal journey right now, decided this is the right move for me and my family. And, oh, yeah, I have 5 of my top 9 leading scorers returning for next season and a big freshman and a couple transfers. We should be pretty good.
Do you know offhand how many college basketball teams, men's and women's, have three-peated?
No. Is it?
How many men?
I would guess one.
One on the men's side.
I would guess it's UCLA.
One on the men's
Wooden.
side with Wooden, and 4 overall, I do believe.
UConn?
UConn did it twice. Tennessee.
UConn did it twice.
Yeah, UConn did it twice. UConn 4-peated in the mid-2010s. And then I think they 3-peated in the mid-aughts, and Tennessee late 90s into the early aughts 3-peated. Yeah. It's not my point is, it's not a lot of teams in college basketball who get to 3-peat. Go do that. Chase that down. Right. And that's going to be fun to watch.
Also, the Lakers' job isn't a great job right now, and I don't know where the Lakers end up going. They had, according to reports, hadn't even done an official interview with JJ Redick yet. There were the reports that Anthony Davis really likes James Borrego. James Borrego's name has been linked to the opening in Cleveland as well, so that's something interesting to keep track of. But when it comes to who ends up coaching the Lakers, they're always going to be seen as option B, which can work both ways. Like, on one sense, I think it stinks to be the second choice. Like, obviously, they were aggressively going after Dan Hurley, and now whoever gets hired knows. Like, they didn't want me. They got stuck choosing me because option number 1 said no very publicly. These things happen, like, under the covers all the time, where you don't necessarily know. It's not such a public ordeal. Second choices are hired often, but this was such a huge story because it is the Lakers and it is LeBron James. It also gives the Lakers front office the opportunity where if this coach doesn't work out, they're like, well, wasn't our first choice to begin with.
Man, get out of here. You get chose. That's all we trying to do on these streets is get trolls. I ain't never cared about being your first. I'll tell, how many times do I have to tell you, and you people listening, if you know me, I'm not my wife's first choice. Like, I was the one that was acting the most right at the time. I don't give a damn. If I was a coach, I wouldn't give a damn if I was your 28th choice. You had to choose me. Now I'm here. We're going to make this work or not. Doesn't matter if I'm your first choice. Get your ego, put that to the side for a little bit. Be self-aware. Look around the room. Read the room and say, oh, yeah. I would choose him over me right now. You line up 5 dudes in this room right now and say, CJ, arrange everybody, including you, in order of most to least attractive. I'm not just running up to the front. You know why? Because I'm not stupid. I have self-awareness. Bob Hurley is a damn good basketball.
Dan Hurley, my God.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m.